Hi everyone, it's Lottie. Today's video is the second instalment in my Moving to Phuket series. If you haven't seen my first video that I released a few weeks ago, I recommend you pop back to that one and watch it first. It will give you a bit more context about what I'm going to be talking about today in this video. My previous video also provided a little bit of information about why we decided that we wanted to move abroad from the UK, why we chose Phuket, and it lays out the planning process so far. I will leave a link for that in the description below. Before we move on to today's video, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who reached out after my last video. I really didn't know how it would be received. I don't have many followers on my channel. I wasn't sure that that video would reach many people, but judging by the reaction to it, it did. So yeah, I'm so happy that so many of you managed to see that video, that you found it useful, and that you took the time to reach out to me to say thank you and to ask me questions. And I hope that you find this video as useful as the last one. Okay, so today's video is an update a few weeks on from my previous video. A few things have changed and I wanted to discuss those with you in case it's the sort of thing that comes up for you in your planning process. All right, let's start with an issue that's been the most front of mind for me. There's been a few changes for the process of getting Star from the UK to Phuket. She was going to be going on a direct flight from London to Phuket, but that's not going to happen anymore, so she has to do a connection in Bangkok. That's added quite a bit of money to the cost of her relocation. So what's going to happen now is Star's going to be collected from here. She's then going to be transported down to London, where she'll stay 2 nights in a category, get on the plane at Heathrow, and then she'll fly to Bangkok. Then she has to be cleared through customs at Bangkok, which is the extra money that we've had to pay. She'll stay in an approved facility in Bangkok for 1 night, and then she'll do a domestic flight from Bangkok to Phuket. All of this unfortunately means that she has a very long journey. It's likely that she'll be picked up on the 5th, and we probably won't get her in Phuket until at least the 8th, maybe the 9th. So it's going to be a stressful journey for her, more stressful than I'd hoped it would be. But there's nothing we can do. We have to be flexible here, and we have to accept that there are changes of plans at the last minute for her. She's still going to be coming to join us, and that's the most important thing. I guess it just means that we have to be extra settled by the time she joins us, so we really have to be in a villa, have it set up, and all of us be settled before she comes to join us, so that she's going to be coming into a relaxing environment, as relaxing as possible for her, so she can spend some time getting over her journey. So the pressure is on basically, and I will of course keep you up to date with that one. Nothing is confirmed in terms of dates and flights yet, because you can't do it so far, you can't book the flight so far in advance. So once I know for sure what's happening, I will update you on that one. And if you have any questions about transporting pets from the UK to Thailand, just drop me a comment and I'll help you. Right, on to life insurance issues. So while I was sorting out our utilities and subscriptions, I also had a look into our life insurance and emailed Aviva, because I was thinking that maybe they wouldn't be able to cover us outside the UK, and I was right. So unfortunately, we've had to cancel our life insurance policy that we've had for about 4 or 5 years. It's a bit of a pain because we've paid a lot into it, but there's nothing we can do about that. I had a little look online to see if I could find a company that provides life insurance for UK expats in other countries, and I found, got one here, I've got my iPad here with notes, called William Russell. So I filled in their forms and sent them off. I haven't heard back yet. It's been about a week, so I think I'm going to chase that up if I don't hear by the end of this week. Hopefully that will be that sorted, because the premiums were not too bad and it covers us for 12 months, after which time we will find a broker in Thailand to find us life insurance going forward. Drink of tea? All right, let's talk about COVID things. I didn't cover this in the last video. It got quite long. I prefer my videos to be around 20 minutes. So let's talk about that now. There's been some really good developments recently in terms of traveling in a post-pandemic world. So as of the 1st of October, there will be no restrictions whatsoever for entering Thailand with regards to COVID. So you won't need to be vaccinated, you won't have to present a negative PCR or ATK test. There's nothing, which is a big relief for a lot of people. There may be a situation at the airport where they'll be doing random testing. That seems to be something that they enjoy doing in Thailand. But you certainly don't have to present a negative test at check-in or when you go through immigration or anything like that. All of that's going as of the 1st of October. If you are travelling to Thailand before that, then you will have to be either considered fully vaccinated, which, as I said, was 2 doses of an approved vaccine, or you'll have to present a negative test at the airport. One caveat with that, as with Thailand, they like to change things at the last minute. So I always recommend that you check with your embassy the day before you travel, just to check that the rules and regulations haven't changed and you don't need to get a last minute test or something. But it definitely seems that the world's going in the right direction here. Restrictions are being lowered and there's no signs yet that anybody's increasing restrictions, so you should be fine, but check. Okay, next I wanted to share with you something that I've noticed over the last few weeks while I've been researching villas. So as I said in my last video, when we arrive in Phuket, we will be staying in an Airbnb for 5 weeks. That allows us time to find a long-term rental. We will want to rent a villa for a minimum of 12 months after that. So I've been doing some research on Facebook and other places looking at prices for villas, so we know what to expect, what we're going to be able to afford, our type of budget, how far that's going to get us. And I noticed within the last couple of months, the prices of villas and condos have been going up and up and up. I assume that was in preparation for the high season, and I do think that is the case. So we were getting to stupid levels where a 2-bed pool villa was, $3,000 a month, something ridiculous like that. That made me panic a little because, we want to have a really nice villa when we get to Phuket. And we don't want to be paying anything like that for it. However, I've noticed over the last 2 to 3 weeks that prices have started coming down again, and quite considerably, on Facebook Marketplace and on a few property websites. So I looked into this a little bit, and it seems like at the moment in Phuket, and most likely in the rest of Thailand as well, it really is a renter's market. I've spoken to a couple of people who are in the know in that area, and they have said that hotel owners are unable to fill their hotel rooms and landlords are unable to fill their properties. So they expected that there would be a ramp up just ahead of the high season, which starts next month, but that hasn't happened. That's for a number of reasons. There'll be the Russia-Ukraine issue that's ongoing, China being in lockdown, the price of airfares, which is extortionate at the moment. It seems like people are not rushing back to Thailand, which is what they expected to happen. So hotels are either closed or only partially open, and landlords are insisting on pre-COVID rental amounts, which means they're going out of business because they simply are not able to get people into their villas for those prices. So the more astute landlords are dropping their prices. This is very good for us, and hopefully it will continue to happen until we get there. So it's good for us. But obviously low tourist numbers is very bad for Phuket. So I'm a bit torn on this one. I'm happy in a way that there's a little bit of a price reduction, but I'm also sad for the island because it's struggling and it needs more tourists. But I will keep you updated on the entire process of finding a villa, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of exactly what's happening over there. Okay, let's move on to a couple of family-specific topics. While I was doing my villa research, I noticed that the vast majority of properties in Phuket are pool villas. Our son Finn is a water baby. He's happier in the ocean or in the swimming pool than he is anywhere else. So we were immediately concerned about how we would deal with having a pool at home. There is obviously the option of going for a property that doesn't have a pool, but my impression is that you really restrict yourself in terms of the choice of properties if you decide that you don't want to have a pool at all. Also, I have this lovely fantasy about doing yoga and breathwork next to the pool early in the morning while Adam and Finn are having a morning swim. So yeah, I really want us to have a pool, but that means that we're going to have to figure something out in terms of safety for Finn. And I should say, of course, I will never leave Finn unsupervised outside where we have a pool. I will never do that. However, if for some reason he managed to get outside and I wasn't there, I need him to be able to swim to the side and call for help if he did fall into the pool, or if he did jump into the pool, which is more likely what would happen. So swimming lessons is something that's been top of mind for me. We have a local pool here, which we go to every weekend, and we're trying to teach Finn to swim a little bit. There's a massive waiting list for swimming lessons here in the UK because we don't have many swimming pools, so there's no way we would be able to get him any professional lessons. Thankfully, the school that he starts 2 weeks after we get to Phuket, they have 2 swimming pools. One of them is a toddler pool, which they can teach the toddlers to swim in. So I've signed him up for 2 swimming lessons per week. Hopefully this will mean that within a few months of us moving to the island, he will be a good enough swimmer that he can be safe in the pool if he was to accidentally get in there. I recommend that if you're looking to have a pool villa too, that you do the same thing with your children. Don't take any chances. It's likely that their school will be able to provide lessons. If they can't, there are 2 companies on the island that I'm aware of. One is called Baby Nemo, which I believe is in Hawaii, and the other one is called Manta Kids. Okay, the second family related thing that I wanted to discuss is our new discovery. Finn is now too big to use a pram, a pushchair, and we were struggling with his trike. It's not very user friendly, so we decided we wanted another way of getting him around that was easier to fold up. So with us taking so many flights and being in so many airports, we decided to go for a wagon, a pull-along folding wagon. It's the best thing that we have ever bought with regards to transporting kids around while you're traveling. It's so easy to use. Finn absolutely loves it, and you can also pop your hand luggage in it and pull it around so you're not having to carry heavy things. We're also hoping that it will do a bit better on the sand when we move than his trike, which wasn't happy on the sand at all. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. If you're looking for something new, a new way to get your kid around when you move to the island, I highly recommend a folding wagon. Right, let's talk about the final issue that I wanted to discuss here, and this is bulk buying before you move. A few people have told me on some of the Phuket expat groups on Facebook that there are a few items that you really should bulk buy and bring with you and top up whenever you visit your home country. There are certain items that they either just don't make on the island or that are very expensive. So the first one is bring lots of sun cream with you. The sun cream that you buy on the island, 9 times out of 10, it's not what it says it is on the bottle. I speak from personal experience on this. 11 years ago when Adam and I were in Thailand, we ran out of sun cream and we bought a bottle of local sun cream. Then we went on a boat trip for a full day, and when we came back we were lobsters. It was ouch, very ouch. Deodorant is another one that they don't tend to make much of on the island, so bring that with you. I don't think the Thais really bother with it. They shower like 3 times a day, so they don't really need it, and eventually your body gets used to the heat anyway, and you're drinking so much water that when you sweat, it's just pure water that you're sweating out. But initially, while your body's getting used to the new climate, you're going to want deodorant, so bring plenty of that with you as well. Also moisturiser for the body and the face. In Thailand, they tend to have toxic whitening ingredients in moisturiser. It's seen to be quite desirable to be pale over there, so they put a lot of whitening in a lot of their products. You're going to see that in the 7-Eleven. So if you want to take a moisturiser with you, bring that from home definitely. And if you have children, bring a few packs of swim nappies. While Adam and I and Finn were over there during the Christmas and New Year break, we couldn't find them anywhere. We brought just about enough for Finn, but we weren't able to restock at all because they just don't exist over there. So if that's something that's going to be important too, if you have a baby or a toddler who's still using nappies, bring a few packs of that with you. And finally, I've also decided to bulk buy vitamins, makeup, and just checking my list, what was the other thing? Detox drops. So if you take any supplements or anything like that, you may be able to find alternatives on the island, but it might take you a little while to find them. So I've bulk bought all of those. It just takes the pressure off really when we get there. I know we have supplies for a few months before we have to start worrying about things like that. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching my second moving to Phuket video. I'll be back in a few weeks' time with the actual move itself. So I'm going to be documenting packing, the journey, and arriving at our villa, and probably our first couple of days there while we settle in. All of that will be documented for you, and I hope that you will find it useful as you plan your own journey. And again, thank you so much for everybody who reached out after my last video. I was so happy that I was able to help you. I would really appreciate it if you would like the video, subscribe to my newbie channel so that I can continue to grow my channel and continue to bring you useful content. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm quite active over there. I'll pop a link for that below as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.